Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, another update on Matt Gaetz. He may look chill in interviews and he may look as if he has nothing to worry about. He's totally fine with everything. Behind the scenes, apparently, he's really freaking the fuck out. So, at least that's what his campaign finance report reveals. According to the Daily Beast, who sifted through all of the details of his finance reports, Gaetz spent more on fundraising in the first 3 months of this year than he did in all of 2020. In fact, Gaetz paid nearly $117,000 for direct mailers in one day, which happened to be the day after news broke about this alleged underage sex trafficking investigation. So Gaetz also paid one fundraising consulting firm $160,000 this year, which they say is more than what his campaign spent for the same type of services in 2019 and 2020 combined. But one small expenditure, compared to these others, I should say, is really getting the most attention. Gaetz paid Roger Stone's company $5,000 for, quote, strategic consulting. And yes, that's the same Roger Stone who's been seen in photos with Gaetz and Greenberg. Apparently, these three are like the evil amigos, the three evil amigos. And Trump is still the horrible, evil, murderous, villainous monster El Guapo. But anyway, so back to Gaetz and his freak out. In addition to his fundraising expenditures, Gaetz also donated money to several Florida Republican lawmakers who he's never given money to ever before. He sent $1,000 donations to 5 different Florida state senators at the end of January. One of these state senators who he sent this $1,000 to, by the way, is Jason Brodeur. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because I've been talking about him recently and how he's potentially connected to Gaetz because of that fake candidate who appears to have picked up and absconded to another country after running in that race to siphon votes away from the Democrat, to essentially try to hand the win to Brodeur in the 2020 election. In addition to these home state donations, Gaetz also gave $4,000 donations to Senator Mike Lee of Utah and Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Both of those donations were made on the same day in February. But Gaetz really should be holding on to this campaign cash, because he's been bleeding legal fees. Even though we all just found out recently about his myriad scandals and potential legal trouble, he knew he was in deep shit last summer. Shortly after his buddy Joel Greenberg was indicted, which was in June of last year, Gaetz doled out $38,000 to a law firm named Venable LLP. Then this year, he paid them another $21,000 just in February. So all total, Gaetz has spent $85,000 in legal fees since Greenberg was charged for sex trafficking and then the other various 32 crimes. I mean, that kind of screams consciousness of guilt, if you ask me. I don't know. I mean, if one of my friends got in trouble with the law and I had nothing to do with it, I certainly wouldn't be out hiring an attorney. And here's the thing. Part of the investigation into Gaetz has to do with potential irregularities in his campaign finance reports, possibly expenditures that weren't necessarily business related, weren't necessarily related to his position in Congress. I understand him using campaign donations for legal fees connected to that part of the investigation, but he can't legitimately use campaign funds to defend himself or, for legal advice against prostitution or child sex trafficking charges. That has nothing to do with his work in Congress. So unless he's willing to admit that he pimped these women out and these girls out to get political favors, unless he's willing to say, oh yeah, well, I did use these women and girls in the course of my job. I mean, I guess he could make that sick and twisted argument. But again, he would have to admit to his crimes. And the other thing is, why can't daddy pay his legal bills? His family is uber wealthy. In the mid-2000s, his father had a net worth of $25 million from a company that he sold. He helps evil Jimmy Neutron with all of his other legal trouble. He helped him to get out of his DUI charge. And word is that daddy's been calling in favors and pulling strings behind the scenes to keep other politicians quiet in regard to little Maddie's alleged sex trafficking of a minor. So why should donors foot the bill for Gaetz' alleged disgusting behavior with young girls? All right, guys, I'll keep you posted. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.